that's on the actual Kerbal Space Center. I can show you right here. We're on the runway, and we can do our everything, our EVA report, the board, pressure scan, crew report. I'm going to go ahead and transmit that right now so I can collect another one. Material study. And if you see, I have 2 of everything. If I had a scientist on board and I wanted to go through the whole process, that's fine, but I've got an engineer on board. Whoa, look at his haircut. Bill looking good, Bill. Wouldn't just need to get you a nickname with that haircut. Anyway, let me look at him. Wonder if I can get him to take his suit down to... Anyway, that's alright. I like that haircut. Anyway, that looks cool. So, I just built this craft real quick. It's basically got some airplane landing gear, about 4 inches ground clearance, so I can't really go down any hills. I could try, but I don't think it would work out. I think I would high center. It might be worth a try, just to see if I can. But anyway, depending on what happens, if I get stuck here, I'm just going to end the video and recover the vessel. But I can actually get more science from one of these areas. I think in the beginning we landed at the vehicle assembly and the management. So what I wouldn't mind doing is heading to the flagpole, or anyway, closest building actually is what I need to do. So I'm going to try to angle it a little to avoid the high center, not hit it so straight. Okay, we're not stable, so we need to... Alright, stabilize. Hey, this thing rides pretty good. Now, I haven't even given it any gas yet. And I might be willing to just do it here. And then bring another vessel back for these up here. So, let's just do that. Crew report. EVA report. Pressure scan. Material study. Mystery goo. Temperature scan. Alright, now let's go ahead and break it without tipping it over. Oh goodness. We hope that we didn't destroy anything in the process. Anyway, that's a good thing to work on, not breaking it too hard or somehow spreading those out. So I'm going to recover the vessel, and I'm going to go stretch my landing gear or my wheelbase out so I don't flip forward because I'm top heavy. That was almost funny. Alright, well that was 62 science points, or I think I already had 18 in the kitty, so it wasn't quite that many, but that's how many we have now. And also between videos I've upgraded everything but this building, so we have a complete upgrade to level 2 except for one. And I better check this, make sure we don't have any. Alright, plant a flag, explore, which is rendezvous, 2 vessels in Kerbin. Usually there's a rescue mission that comes with that too. I saw something in this. It's contracts offered. How about tools? Regenerate current contracts. Alright, I don't know if I did anything, but let's look and see what contracts we have. Alright, it took all our active contracts away too, so we just have to reclaim them. Which is good. I got rid of that contract I didn't want. Explore. So we got 2 of the main ones. And I don't have any rescues for rendezvous. So we'll probably have to launch 2 vessels to rendezvous. But the first things first. Oops. I did that wrong. As soon as I get out of here, anyway, I built this vessel where we build airplanes here. And like I said, I just want to spread that wheelbase out so if I hit the brakes again, I don't flip over. I can also take some of the, okay, so I can turn the front brakes off. Like you just come to brakes disabled. All right. Brakes disabled. Did I do that right? Okay, so steering is enabled. So I'm going to come here to this one so I'm not steering on 4 wheels and disable it. But the brakes are enabled now. And I might pull those back to 50% of their current power. I'm also going to do this, which is spread this one out. Just push it all the way up to here. Spread this one out all the way up to here. Bring it down so I have a little more ground clearance. Bring it down so I have a little more ground clearance, and I'm going to bring this one up a little so the back wheels, no, excuse me, I'm going to bring this one down a little lower so these wheels are lower than these, lower than these wheels, and we will get a better view from our space. So let's go ahead and save that. We'll launch it again. And let's see the changes we made. Now we've already gotten the readings to the runway and to the Kerbal Space Center area. What we need to do now is get to the internal workings. You can already see that the runway tilts a little bit. Most runways do have some tilt on them. That's so water runs off them. Some of them also have some grooves up here, so you can hear yourself if you're running off or running on. And it's also to take the water off in an area where you might need what we call emergency braking. Usually, your plane's usually not hitting that unless you're in an emergency, so you need all the help you can get. I saw a video where a guy was in Class B or busy airspace. They asked him to come in behind the 737. 737 was going to land in the first portion of the runway. He was supposed to fly over the top of them as they were landing and then drop down in front of them and land in the second to third portion of the runway. Now, this runway was like 3 times longer than normal, so the 737 could do everything it could do in section 1. Just think of the runway in 3 sections. And they asked this guy to set down in 2 and stop in 3. Now, talk about crazy, fly over the top of an airplane that just landed and then land in front of it. But that's Class B airspace. What was that? I think it was LAX. I remember the $125 landing fee. And I had always thought if you landed a Cessna at LAX, it was $1,500 or $1,200 just to land. But I think it's just a $120 landing fee. And that's to cover a little bit of the tower control, the guys on the ground. You're going to have to taxi around. I don't know, a little bit of maintenance, a little bit of wages. And it's quite possible that the big heavy jumbo jets pay the $1,200 or $1,500 to land there. But like if you come in a private plane in a Cessna, you might get away with $120. But so I had heard a rumor it's $1,200 to land there. But $120. Anyway, back to our runway portion. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on my jets. Gave myself a little power. I do want to test the brakes though. Oh, that was nice. I wonder how fast it'll go before it gets all messy. Okay, so that was me attempting to turn it, and now you can see it jerking around on its physics. So let me just go ahead and revert the flight to launch. And wow, that thing just basically flipped over. Well, I just tried to test the yaw a little bit. So wow, look at that, quite a bit. So let's go ahead. I think if we're not going so darn fast. See, we can turn. We just can't turn doing 25 because when we hit that, we tip. Okay, that's not too bad at this speed. We could limit these thrusts down to like 10 and 10, and then it takes us more gas to get up to speed. And we could probably even create a safe cruising speed, about 5 miles an hour. Generally, the taxi speed at an airport, at least a municipal airport with small airplanes like Cessnas and Barons and Jays, and no jets usually, just prop planes with guys that can afford very little, but still want to fly experimental aircraft. Generally, the rule of thumb is you shouldn't be taxiing any faster than you can walk or trot. And I think the idea behind that, and this has happened before, is your airplane will just start going down the runway or start rolling on you without a pilot. And you got to run up to it and hop in it and wonder what the heck just happened. You know, it's like, idiot. Put your damn brakes on. But there's also this thing, you know, where you got pilots doing stuff while their throttle's on, trying to figure stuff out. If it gets away from you, you want to be able to catch it, and maybe just for safety reasons, because planes, especially the tail draggers, they're a mess when you hit the roll. They'll tip right over. All right, I'm hitting board. Okay, so that was one set. And I don't know what that was, if that was the airplane assembly building area. It might have been, because I just turned in and it's not helping me. Now, I know we've already been to the vehicle assembly building for one thing, so we can get to it later. But I'm going to head over here. Still the view. I can't really see anything. I should probably tilt that way back. Anyway, I can go under that. Oh, clearance? Barely. I don't think it did actually. So I've got a little bit of gas. Looks like I've created a little science car, a rootadoo. That's what I call it. My rootadoo. Anyway, so you know, I told you about all the different biomes. I think the flagpole actually has its own too. So I'm going to go right up to the flagpole and stop and see what happens. And then I'll be able to tell when I can read it. So I just killed my gas. I'm going to hit my brake when I get up here. I'll just run into it. Alright, so temperature scan. From the flagpole. See? And we actually may be able to do this again from this area right behind us, which is the astronaut building. Crew report. We will transmit if we have enough. Man, we got all kinds of electricity. We don't ever have to worry about transmitting anything. Material study from the flagpole. Alright, so we recover this vessel. And we can do this and repeat this process. If we had a scientist on board, we could just keep resetting the... And we might just put the scientist on board for the next one, so I can just reset, collect, reset, collect, reset, collect, and do the whole thing. So now I'm up to 103 science points, which means I can now have one more, and we will go for, I actually want them both, so it doesn't really matter. I'll take that one. Now I'm going to stop the video here, and I'm going to run my science car around with a scientist, and by the time I come back and film another video, you'll probably see me having gained some experience and be ready for the next rendezvous mission. And if a rescue mission pops up in the contracts office, I'm going to take that, because that takes care of rendezvous and rescue. Otherwise, we're going to have to send 2 vessels up and rendezvous with them, which isn't too bad. That might be kind of fun too. But so I'm going to stop the video now and repeat the same process like 4 times. Anyway, thank you for watching.